This conference will now be recorded.
Pressure rules and peace of mind flickers. Remarkable times require remarkable actions. And my question to you is, are you being your remarkable? And I know you all are remarkable. The problem is that most of the people live under their potential because they are busy with the noise of the world. They're busy trying to manage adversity and uncertainty instead of managing themselves. And with that, you give tremendous power away instead of owning it. So the key is to stay on top of the game, is not to manage uncertainty because you can't. The key is to manage yourself. But here's the next problem. We never learned how to do that. We were taught geography, mathematics, but when it comes down to tapping to our inner forces and unfolding and unleashing them, we are sort of left to ourselves to figuring it out. So here's a list, ladies and gentlemen, of my great teachers and with my own contributions of basic but very powerful principles, how you can rise into your remarkable. And that's what I wish for you, because we all need you in your best, because that's where the power is, that's where the magic is, that's where you can rise above circumstances and actually also touch other people's lives. And the first on my list is choice. Every day you can choose to either do less, earn less, produce less, acquire less, and that leads to an empty life. Or you can choose to do it all, to be all, to try all, to dare more, to strive for more, to accomplish more, to give more, and to share more. And that is one of the most worthiest of all undertakings, because you can be so much more than you think you are, because humans are so remarkable. We have infinite potential. We're the only creature on the planet who can create something out of nothing, who can turn disaster into success. But here is the thing, you know, every creature on the planet is growing into its purpose. A fish becomes a fish, a tree becomes a tree. There's no tree which says, oh, I'm just going to grow half of my potential. But humans do. Why? Because we have the grace of choice. So choose right now that you don't only invest in your to be a master of your craft, but also invest in yourself to be a master of yourself. That is where the power lies. So use that power, own that power. The second on my list is clarity. You know, all people who have achieved remarkable things have absolute clarity of what they want to accomplish, about their goal. And I'm not speaking about any kind of goal. I'm speaking about a big goal, a vision, a dream. You know, when Neil Armstrong and his fellow astronauts came back from the moon, they were celebrated. They changed human history. And yet all of them fell into darkness. NASA had anticipated every kind of danger except for one thing, their own crates of emotions. Because what else was there to accomplish when you had been to the moon? We all need something which pulls us, especially into the future, beyond tomorrow, beyond next week, beyond next year. Something that touches our heart, that sets our soul on fire. Something that is so big that we have to stretch. And the bigger it is, the stronger it pulls. And the clearer it is, the brighter it shines, especially through darkness. The point is, so many people don't have a life vision. They're busy fulfilling other people's life vision. And you are all professionals. You all know how to set goals. And I usually distinguish 3 types of goals. It's a goal, you know exactly how to achieve that, or the B goal. It's already a little bit more challenging. You think you know how to achieve it, but actually there is the C goal. C goal is so big, or C goal is something you have never been before. It is so big that at the same time, it excites you and it scares you. And you gotta be ambitious. And why do we have goals? And you might think it's maybe to get something more, to get a bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger salary. But these are all consequences. Actually, it's about growing, because we're all living creatures, and if we don't grow, we are lost. And you remember, we are living creatures with the grace of choice. If we don't choose that, we are not growing. All remarkable people have this big vision, this big dream, and you might have lost it. You might have buried it under the noise of the world, but gotta sit down and dedicate yourself to develop that, because it doesn't just fall from the sky and say, hello, here, I am your big dream, I am your C-type goal. You gotta develop it, and that is very powerful. And as I said, all remarkable people with remarkable things have this kind of dream. Or maybe differently put, Martin Luther King didn't have a dream. The dream had him. And it wasn't the rocket which took us to the moon. It was man and its dream. The rocket gave the thrust, but the dream gave the meaning. And that is so powerful. That's where you unleash your power. Own that power. And courage. Once you have defined that big goal, that dream of yours you're striving for, which excites you and which scares you at the same time, then it starts. It starts. The challenges, the problems, the naysayers, and the one thing which makes most of the people not even start or turn around and abandon the goal before it's accomplished, and that's fear. All heroes, all remarkable people who have reached remarkable things are scared. But you know what? They go anyway, because if you don't, you're toast, because you can never go further than your fear. But actually, that's where breakthroughs happen. That's where you unfold. That's where you grow. That's where your character starts to shine. And we all want to, in your glory, to shine. And it starts with actually being aware of your fear, because we are so good in pushing that fear away with procrastination, with excuses, or with distraction. And we are usually scared of 3 things. The first thing is of loss. We are scared of loss. Loss of love, loss of time, loss of money, loss of reputation, loss of respect, being ridiculed. And the second is we are scared of the outcome. What if the result is not what we want? And very often the result is much bigger than you have actually wished for or anticipated. And the third one is we are scared of the process. Will it be cumbersome? Will it be painful? And of course it will be, because otherwise the award, the transformation is not meaningful enough. And all remarkable people having achieved remarkable things have heartbreaking stories to tell. the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, the Madonnas, and the little girl around the corner, which you admire what she has achieved. And also Konosuke Matsushita, who is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of the 20th century and who is the founder of Panasonic. His story fascinates me. He started work with when he was 6 years old, because they didn't have any money. And on his way to building an empire, on his way to the top, he has experienced every kind of heartbreaking loss you can possibly think of, including nearly losing his entire family. When I was 17, I read his biography, and there was this one sentence which kept me through going through many, many dark hours. And he said, "You can always be successful, no matter what. Just have the courage to go forward." And that kept me also going when I started my speaking career. When I was invited my first years on a stage, I was so scared to death that I didn't only lose my voice, but I really lost the capacity to speak. And also that sentence, including the voice I had still in my head of Bertrand Piccard, the pioneer who went around the world with his balloon, kept me going to fighting my way back. And I had the pleasure and honor to meeting one time, and we sat down and we had tea, and I said, "Bertrand, aren't you really scared to lose your life?" And he said in his charming French accent, "Nicole, of course I am." And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And he said, "I go anyway." And ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to go anyway. I urge you, whenever fear threatens you, threaten that fear back. It takes courage to go anyway when no one else goes. It takes courage to stand up for your dream. It takes courage to take a different approach when everybody is laughing at you. But you all have the courage muscle, and you can all develop that courage muscle. And I want to encourage you to go anyway and to develop that muscle, because where fear is, where you go through fear, that's where breakthrough happens. That's where power unfolds. So own that power. Next on my list is commitment. You know, when we look at remarkable people, we all at their remarkable accomplishments, and maybe deep inside, we hope and wish to do the same or to be a little bit like them. But you know, Roger Federer, who actually just lives around the corner here, he did not win 20 tournaments, 20 Grand Slam tournaments because he was hoping for it. Tiger Woods did not make 20 holes in one because of his talent. And Serena Williams is not a world record breaker because she was wishing for it. It comes down to one thing: commitment. Doing the job anyway. Doing the little jobs no one else is ready or willing to do. Doing the little petty things where everyone else gives up, but you keep going. Commitment is the glue or the bridge between idea, inspiration, and accomplishment. Commitment is the awareness that you have to swim against the stream. Commitment is also the absolute idea or awareness that kites fly against the wind. And the more you are committed, the more confidence you develop. The more confidence you develop, the more competence you develop, and the more competent you are, the more confidence you have. It's the one thing what we call confidence competence loop. So commitment can start with the small little thing you can do already right now, and can create really remarkable accomplishments. and the sky is really the limit. So commitment is a power you should own. Own that power, ladies and gentlemen, because we need you at your best. The next on my list is the power of community. I once had the privilege and delight to work with the great Hollywood scriptwriter Bob McKee, and he's also a Hall of Fame legend. And he baffled me when he said, Nicole, you know, we go to the movies to find answers to questions of our life. Good Hollywood movies have the stories of our life. They reflect the stories of our life, and the heroes reflect the pain we go through and the vulnerability we have. And in every good movie, when the stakes are at highest and the disaster is the biggest and the hero is in biggest danger, there comes a big or a strong helper. Every hero and every remarkable person achieving the remarkable have helpers. Luke Skywalker has Yoda, Harry Potter has Dumbledore, Katniss in the Hunger Games has Haymitch, and James Bond has Q. And my question to you is, who do you have? We all know that we can accomplish remarkable things only with helpers, with teams. And yet, on the end, we are lonely fighters. Yes, we have our loved ones. Yes, they give us emotional stability. They give us their love. But who is distorting who is correcting your distorted self-image? Who transforms your so-called weakness into a strength, which actually most probably are not weaknesses. You think of them as weaknesses, but then they are not. Who finds that gem in you and other facets to make them shine and make you stand in your power? And who opens up new worlds and lifts you up onto new levels with unbiased views and without agenda, with the only goal to make you shine in all your glory. And maybe you don't find that in your environment. You really have to look for them. Bill Gates made it so beautifully, and he made me smile when I read this quote of him: everybody needs a coach. So look around, go and look for professionals who can be your mentors, who can be your sparring, who can be your peer, who have your back, who inspire you, who open up new worlds to you so you can catapult forward, develop yourself faster, not make every possible mistake which has already been done, and multiplies your power. Own that power. And the last one on my list is the most important, and that is the power of your heart and soul. I once saw a movie on Netflix where the hero had a tattoo over his chest and it said, "Nothing here," and reminded me of my corporate career when I was working still in the investment industry. And I say that with all love and respect. I love that industry, but it was a tough, no pain, no emotion culture. We were all tremendously successful, but we were absolutely unhappy because we were just rational, non-emotional, and we were very, very cool. Why? Because we are all so afraid of displaying vulnerability, of displaying any emotion we could be taken for not being tough or not being rational, etc. But you know, emotions are the ties to life. That's where we feel alive. That's where joy happens. That's where passion happens. And that's where we feel alive and in our power. And you all know how it feels like meeting a person who has this enthusiasm, who has this passion, and it's not loud. And we probably just see tip of the iceberg, or actually I have to say the volcano, because like in a volcano, it comes from deep, deep inside, from a fire burning, which is nourished by the purpose, which is nourished by the confidence that they're going to get the job done, that they're going to accomplish everything they need to make it happen. It's nourished by this deep desire to touch people's lives, to help them, and to really make an impact. So I want to encourage you to pour your entire passion and heart and soul into it, because without it, there is no life. But with it, that's where the magic happens, because there is nothing more attractive. Someone who is true to themselves with their entire heart and soul. And that's not only attractive, that's also contagious. That's where the people start to be inspired and follow, not because they have to, but because they want to. And that's where you can multiply your power into a different kind of force and touch people's lives, like these remarkable people have displayed, disregarded of their origin, age, and gender. So rise above circumstances, rise into your remarkable. That's where the power is. Own that power.
All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yep, can hear you fine.
Perfect. That was so inspiring. She does have a little more on this video where she does some open questions and answers. But I thought before we kind of listen to her questions and answers, we might go in and see what your thoughts are, what what kind of resonated with you from all that Nicole shared. And so I'm gonna pull open the chat and see if there are any comments in here yet. You can feel free to put some comments in here. But a couple of things while I'm waiting for any chat comments, again, just open your chat box and share anything from this presentation so far that has spoken to you on tonight. A couple things that I would just like to note or reflect on that Nicole shared was to find something that stretches you. I know as project managers, we can be so focused on the project and on the end goal, but we don't take the same time or energy for ourselves, and to kind of help ourselves to propel and to see, you know, what's inside of us and what ultimately do we want to accomplish. And so just encourage you to take some time, especially as we're heading into the holidays. It's a good time to do some introspective work and see what propels me. What more do I want to accomplish? What more do I want to do or to be, or how do I want to touch the world? How do I want to impact the world? So look for some things that stretch you. Even though the stretch can be exciting and it can be scary, encourage you to be a part of stretching yourself, and find some people. I do like that Nicole said that everybody needs a coach and everybody needs someone in their corner. Everybody needs someone who can really speak to you and can see, right, the best in you and can see the areas where you need to grow. And so developing that growth mindset. Do it afraid, right? There are many things that, you know, we set up in life or in the back of our mind and have cobwebs on them. Go back and dust off some of those dreams, some of those plans that we've had. Go back, dust those things off, and you know, kind of pull them out again and prepare to do them afraid. I love the quote that Nicole gave. You can always be successful in life. You just must have the courage to go forward. And it really does take a courageous mindset and a growth mindset to propel yourself and to move yourself forward. So those were some things, you know, that I took away, and some things that really resonated with me. I see our chat box is growing here, and so let me just read a couple of things that we have out here. Someone says the real goal is to grow, be the chicken or be the pig. We appreciate how she mentioned multiple things. Success isn't just working hard or planning well. It takes focus, it takes passion, it takes commitment. This was definitely a great reminder for us to pay attention to our dreams and to keep the fire lit. Again, a growth mindset, and love the concept that the real goal is to grow. Yes, this was absolutely great. Always forward. That's really where we want to go. It's always forward. And so hopefully, as we are ending this year, it's been a crazy year. 2020 has just been a crazy year. But I do hope that as you reflect and as you prepare for 2021, at least this presentation will have sparked something within you, will have fanned a flame, a flicker, something that you put on the shelf, inspired you to go pick it back up again, to push yourself even further, to set new goals, to set big goals, as she called them, C goals, goals that are exciting and scary, and push past and truly develop a growth mindset. With that said, let me see if there's anything else in the chat. Cheryl, I'm not sure. Did I get everything else in the chat?
There was a couple of more, I think, that are kind of interesting. Karen had offered some things, Stephen and Colleen, Don, a couple of more out there, yeah.
Oh, okay, let me go back. Sorry, guys. It's so much going on. I love it. I wish I could talk to all of you and we could like share and dialogue, but this works too. Okay, I see Dawn. Let's see. Usually I get one or two things in the presentation, but all of her 6 key points resonated with me at this time. Sometimes it's good to reach back to the dreams you carried in your 20s. Absolutely, Stephen. Good to see you out here, Stephen. He's our presenter for January. So excited to hear from you in January. We have James, I am, I can, and I will. Karen says, this reminds me of something I've heard elsewhere, where you should ask yourself who you need to be in order to achieve your goals. It's not just about activity, it's about growing yourself. James says, always forward. Colleen says, I've heard it said that in order to be the person you want to be, you have to be willing to kill the person that you are. sounds a little harsh, but I think that there's truth to it. I absolutely think that there is truth to that, Colleen. I think that Ray, in order to really be our authentic self, we can't be who we've settled for. And we can't just stop with kind of either who we've become comfortable with being or who other people have become comfortable with us being. We have to kind of continue to push that right to the edge and push forward and push past that to really be our authentic self and accomplish our goals. And
kill the couch potato.
Exactly.
Oh,
And then I'll open it up to the board members. I know that they have their microphones on. I read some of the comments, but I would be remiss to think that I'm the only one who could share here, right? So any final things, Cheryl, Colleen, Karen, Becky, Craig, that you guys want to share or just leave with the group on tonight?
No, I think pretty much everybody summed it all up. I think in short, it's really just be true to who you really are, right? Be true to your heart, be true to your soul, and don't be afraid to move forward in that direction. And sometimes it's scary going after those stretch goals, but it's worth it, right? It's
I
rewarding.
also think it's okay, or I think we have to, allow ourselves to change our goals and our dreams. Like what I wanted when I was 20 is not the same thing that I want now at this stage of my life, So we have to be cognizant of that our goals and our wants are going to change over our lifetime, and we need to adjust to get there.
Yeah, for sure. Karen or Becky, do you guys have anything you'd like to add?
Oh, Craig's on too, by the way. Craig and Karen are sharing their connection. So.
Oh, yeah. I think I said Craig earlier. Sorry, Craig. Craig or Karen?
I really don't have anything to add. I mean, I think this goes along with a lot of things I'm reading and listening to around just really growing yourself, and and it's okay to be uncomfortable because it will be uncomfortable for sure.
Right.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, team, for sharing. Becky did send a message. She's just saying she loves the presentation. She was very inspired by this, and she appreciates everything that everyone has shared so far. So thank you so much, Becky, for chiming in. We appreciate that as well. Again, everyone on the call, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate your time, your effort, your energy. Hopefully you enjoyed this presentation. Hopefully it's inspired you, it sparked something, it's fanned a flame in you to get those goals back out, revisit them, dust them off, and propel forward and move forward. Do it afraid, do it however you need to do it. Just accomplish it and be your authentic self. Again, we encourage you to have a great holiday celebration, and we will be back in January with lots of exciting and thought-provoking material for the year ahead. So have a great night. Thank you so much for joining. And remember, in the chat is the information for your PDUs.